Guyana's rice industry continues to thrive under the direction of government's aggressive agriculture investment and initiatives aimed at advancing all aspects of agriculture development. On Saturday, through a collaboration between the Government of Guyana, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, and the CARICOM Secretariat, a new zinc-fortified variety of rice was unveiled to farmers from across the country at a field day hosted by the Guyana Rice Development Board, GRDB, Les Beholder, Blackbush Boulder. The event marked the successful open field trial of the biofortified rice variety, a culmination of nearly 3 years of trials conducted by the GRDB's research station at Burma under the direction of research scientist and national awardee Dr. Mahendra Prasad. The field day allowed for farmers from all across the country to have a look at the plot of zinc-fortified rice variety and compare the bearing characteristics with known high-yielding varieties such as the GRDB 10 and more recently the GRDB 16. The initial findings by farmers were that the bearing was consistent across the field of biofortified rice, with panicles showing up to 45 filled grains, pointing to possible yields per acre of 45 to 55 bags of paddy. But the real value of the new zinc-fortified rice variety is its classification as a specialty commodity, one that will attract a higher price on the market than the ordinary varieties grown across the country. This potential premium value was the focus of presentations made during the formal aspects of the program. President of the Rice Producers Association, Liko Ramrich, in his remarks during an interaction with those present, described the new variety as very promising. And while he planted just under 2 acres of the variety, he is anticipating its release for commercial cultivation shortly. He said the real benefit of this new variety will be the specialty price it is expected to attract.
But it's a wonderful variety, it's no good, and the benefit will come when we mill it and we have the rice itself in our plate. I'm sure as a farmer, we want to see high yield, like Doc said, we have a varieties coming in spring. But this might match close to what we are doing, but our benefits would be, it might sell more in terms of when we got it into the milling aspect of it. I'm hoping that we can be able to have better prices. This I'm sure, because you're getting a variety with zinc, and hopefully we can be able to sell it at a premium price when farmers can enjoy premium money as well. We can be the slave of it, growing it and bring it up, and the millers enjoy the money for it. As a farmer, and I can tell you likewise, every one of you, we would not stand up to see that happen.
Speaking during the formal aspect of the program, ICA's country representative, Mr. Wilmot Garnett, said the variety has proven to be ready for commercial rollout, testimony to the progressive collaboration between his organization and the Government of Guyana through the Ministry of Agriculture.
In terms of the collaboration, this is what is important, because I want to highlight, as GM mentioned, the quality work and the great staff that we have at the GRDB and the support they've been receiving from the ministry and other partners. And on behalf of my Director General, Dr. Manuel Otero, just yesterday, ESG Cox was here for the launch of the Caribbean Week of Agriculture. My Director General highlighted that ICA will continue to support the GRDB and support the work of the biofortified rice and other projects, GM. So we'll be working on other projects. So the collaboration is very important, highlight the CARICOM. Just to mention that in 2019 at the ministerial quoted, we made a decision that we'll do this work in the biofortified rice. And we're very pleased to go back to the Caribbean Week of Agriculture this year in the Bahamas and to highlight that we have achieved it. And the importance is with our partnership. Very brief about research. We had a conversation earlier about the amount of monies that governments all around the world, but let me talk mainly with the Caribbean. And this is a reality for many, many reasons that over the years we've been cutting back the budget with research. And this is something that we need to improve. Like my Director General always says, agriculture is about science, it's about technology, it's about innovation. I see livestock here too shaking because it's not only for rice, it's for agriculture and we modernize the rice. Now we talk about precision agriculture. Now we talk about nanotechnology and so on, right? So we need to keep this in mind. So when I hear the conversation about will we get a premium price and so on, that is a market issue. We can definitely support in terms of the certification. Definitely we got to guarantee what those values will be for the zinc. And obviously we're working with the cost of production also, but there's an investment, and if it is that we can get a premium price, what we would like to recommend from ICA is that a little pinch of that, if we could use that phrase, a little pinch goes back into the GRDB so that we can further additional research, and you can bet that ICA will continue to support.
Speaking on behalf of the CARICOM Secretariat, Assistant Secretary General Mr. Joseph Cox said the success of the biofortified rice trials in Ghana is testament to the effectiveness of true collaboration among stakeholders, partners, especially in the context of Vision 25 by 2025.
What are we looking at? We speak about reducing the food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. Well, you know what is even more important, because I tell people, that may be a target, but we're moving along a line to achieve that target. But what is important, as we come out of the Caribbean Week of Agriculture that Wilmot speaks to, you know what we're looking at? We're looking at a situation where we are trying to introduce for the first time a facility whereby we are going to reintroduce the young people of this region to our indigenous foods. Most of our young people, I know from my son, what was the thing that he identified with? He identified with Burger King, McDonald's, every kind of damn foolishness you can imagine. That's what he identified with. Talking about things what we all grew up with. How many variations, you don't know about biofortified rice, how many variations of rice we can do? Where are we going with all of this now? Are we starting to reintroduce these things? Create for our young people. What are the strategies? What are the new ways of presenting these things, preparing these foods, looking at the value added that we can get out of it? Because that's where we're going with these things. You have all of this rice here, and trust me, I love rice. As you can see from the sides. Market for my own purpose, I will just tell you I'm big boy. Alright? I'm a big boy. You can't say anything you want to say I'm big boy. That's my story. But the fact of life is that when we're looking at where we're going with this, with these initiatives, frankly speaking, it's but one of many. Right? And there are variations that we can bring to the table, and how we embrace those opportunities is what is going to make the difference as we go forward. There is money in their fields. We all know it. But it's how we are going to approach the process now. What is it that we are going to bring to the table as we look at all of these things? We have opportunities in organic farming. We have all sorts of ways of using fertilizers, sustainable ways of preparing and maintaining your properties. So in other words, it's for us as a community to embrace those opportunities. If you notice what I'm saying, community, partnership. If you don't remember anything about what I said today, remember this, that the future is grounded in partnership, effective partnership.
Earlier, in his remarks, Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Madan Lal Ramrad, said that the successful trials in the new variety is more than of passing note. He stressed that biofortified rice is more than just a new variety.
But importantly, while this is happening, we have been planting rice, we have been cultivating rice for over 100 years. And so you will say, well, yes, we have been cultivating rice, and this is also a variety, another trial. So what is the big difference? And so today, as the chairman of GRDB, and in front of the minister, we are tasking GRDB with two things. Recall, we had also did the aromatic variety. The aromatic variety was not processed the way it should have been done, meaning it was sent to different mills It was processed with the other varieties. It wasn't packaged differently, and a whole set of other issues. So while we are doing this, we have to do two very important things. And this is what our president and our minister has been emphasizing. How do we add value to what we are doing? How do we separate this candidate variety, if we are going to go into large-scale production, against the other variety? So it means that two important things has to be undertaken. One is that how you will process it, meaning you can't just cut it and carry it to a mill, and the mill it's been processed there with the other variety. It has to be treated differently because we want the maximum out of it. This is a premium variety. How do you have premium price out of it? Because you will tell me, look, it's another variety, but it's not. So we have to get the maximum value out of it. You have to process it differently. Process it differently, and also to package it differently, so that we can get the value from it. As a matter of fact, GRDB together with ICA should have started already. It certified this as a premium research institute in the world, and so we can say, look, Guyana rice have been tested, has been cultivated, has been tested. Yes, this is the amount of zinc is in it. And look at premium prices. Where do we have premium prices for this kind of variety? So there's a lot of work more that needs to be done, and I know ICA and GRDB will have to come up with marketing strategy, cultivating strategy, processing strategy to ensure the success of this candidate variety.
In delivering the feature address, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa described the success so far with field trials of the new zinc-fortified rice variety as part of a wider effort to do things differently in developing the agriculture sector, not only for Guyana, but for a region as a whole.
So today, we are seeing, as the regional chairman alluded to it shortly, we are seeing a different approach to agriculture, not only in Guyana, but across the Caribbean. Guyana, since the formation of CARICOM, and Mr. Cox would agree with me and Bob, that since the formation of CARICOM, Guyana always lead in agriculture. And we had a dormant period in that area from 2015 to 2020, because when I became Minister of Agriculture, my counterpart in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was leading the charge to craft a food strategy for the COVID pandemic from CARICOM. However, I am proud today to stand before you and say that Guyana is leading that sector once again under our President, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. And all of us should be proud, because he is not leading the sector only, but we are seeing a renewed interest in agriculture. We are seeing now a true commitment from CARICOM heads of government that we have the capacity to reduce the food import bill of CARICOM. That is why Mr. Cox mentioned about 25 by 2025. What is that? That's an initiative that CARICOM has implemented. That's an initiative that we are working to achieve to reduce the food import bill of CARICOM by 25% by the year 2025. And if you would have listened to speeches coming out of CARICOM, heads of government and other leaders in CARICOM, we have to have a lot of investment coming to this region so that we can reduce the food import bill. And if CARICOM has to be successful in reducing the food import bill by 25%, then Guyana has to be successful. What we have in Guyana, I don't think our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean have in abundance than what we have. Two main ingredients. We have fresh water in abundance, and we have flat and arable land. We have two main ingredients, and now we are seeing investment coming our way. We are seeing government making an honest effort to increase budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector. Why? Because we want to be food secure. And we have seen from $13.5 billion in 2020, we have seen the budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector have increased by 150% to $32.5 billion today. That shows our commitment in ensuring that we improve this sector. And right here in this community, we will see a number of infrastructure going up. Right now, as I am speaking, we have an investment about $1.5 billion going on with 2 pump stations. We are now at the final stage in rehabilitating the rice facility, the rice seed facility right here. And in a matter of weeks, we will commission that. And I want to assure you, with advice from the general manager, that for next crop, you will have your seed paddy right here producing in Blackbush Polder. Those are improvements, and those are things that we must appreciate, because as farmers, I know your main goal is to have premium price for your paddy. And we must not forget what has happened too. As a government, we have been working with farmers on a daily basis to see how we'll improve their standing. Last crop, you all remember that we worked with the rice miller and we forego the commission they have to pay to GRDB so that they can give you a minimum price of $4,000 a bag for a paddy. Last crop, we would have forego almost $300 million, or approximately $300 million that GRDB had to collect it. So these things are commitment that the government is making so that you, the rice farmers, and we have to change the way we do things. We can want new, or we can want better results and do things in the same old way. We heard just now Rambridge, the GRPA president, talk about the yield. When I became Minister of Agriculture, the yield was about 5.2 around that period. This area had one of the lowest yield when I became Minister of Agriculture. And when you look around the country, and when you look per area, this area now is almost in the highest stage. It's almost we are experiencing one of the highest yield. And we are hoping this crop, with the good weather condition, and what we have seen so far, because it's just the beginning of the crop, we are seeing about 6.1 tons nationally. But I am hoping, I am very optimistic that by the end of this crop, we will increase that substantially and our yield will be increased substantially.
Later on, in commenting on the new variety being treated as a special commodity and attracting a premium price at the local mills, the Agriculture Minister said conversations are already underway with all stakeholders in plotting the way forward with the imminent rollout of the new zinc-fortified rice variety.
Right now, a number of countries have already expressed interest, because this rice is not only a rice to satisfy hunger, but this rice also will satisfy some needs, health needs. You will satisfy, for example, you use this rice, you can, and doctor prescribes zinc treatment for you, the supplement, you get it right in the rice. So automatically, this rice will attract preferential prices around the Caribbean and around the world. But in time, we'll have a discussion. Right now, we're having discussion with the farmers who are expected to cultivate these rice. And we have normally have meeting with GREMA, the Guyana Rice Millers Association. I'm hoping that at our next meeting, we can have this discussion. But this will be a discussion, continued discussion, so that we can improve what we plan to do.